Matt predicted it. It happened. The Chicago Cubs declined Shota Imanaga's option. What next?
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. Cubs declined their club option on Shota Imanaga on Tuesday, and Imanaga declined his player option, making him a free agent. The Cubs could make him a qualifying offer, but we'll get you more details on that later. Shota had a sensational first year in 2024 All-Star game, 5th in Cy Young voting. Opening day starter this past March, and then he missed 2 months with a hamstring injury and allowed 15 home runs the last 2 months of the year. Cubs did not only start him in Game 5 of the NLDS, but he didn't even appear in the game. And after that, to pick up a club option of 3 years and $57 million plus a full no trade, Sam, it just didn't seem like a good choice.
Well, first of all, I'd like to commend you on really covering this sharply. You know, we started talking about this, I think, off the air right around August or when he started to struggle. And I remember
about September 1, yeah.
And I remember floating it out on the show. I think it was a solo show right around the postseason of like, you know, it's no guarantee that he's going to be back. And then you kind of just went all in and just took it beautifully. So great job by you on that. Yeah, no surprise here. And I think it's a surprise to a lot of people because his struggles, if you don't watch every day, were a little bit quieter. And he is such a beloved figure on the team. But in terms of the production and what we expected, it's not a surprise. I think the big question is actually still out there, which is, will they extend the $22 million qualifying offer? I think it's a no-brainer that he would accept that. So I'm not even going to entertain the fact that, oh, well, and then if he would accept it or not. No, he's not making any close to that type of money. I think he's looking at some sort of like a 3-year 50, 3-year 45, something like that. At best,
maybe even like two for 40, 2 for 36.
Yeah. So he's taken the qualifying offer if the Cubs extend it. The question is will they extend it? Which we'll talk about. But yeah, just not surprising. I know a lot of people are up in arms and confused about, well, hey, I don't think the Cubs are just going to do anything until the collective bargaining stuff gets agreed on and they have a bunch of deals. Yeah, I think that's a fair concern. I think they'll be very heavily in the 1-year market, but I also think, just like the Tucker conversation, that this was the right decision. The only counter to it is that with the way Wrigley is played, and by the way, there's another world here where Shota says, I know that I need to play at Wrigley. So even if the Cubs don't extend the qualifying offer, maybe they talk about a lesser deal.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
You know, because I just can't picture a place where he would pitch that's better. Maybe Seattle.
It's got to be on the West Coast. That's what I was thinking.
Because somebody mentioned Cincinnati to me today.
San Francisco.
And if he were to go to Cincinnati and make 30 starts, he could he could give up 45 home runs.
Yeah, that would be what we call a poor fit.
Poor fit.
The other thing that gives me pause here, Sam, and you know this the best, this is your number one goal. Win games.
Yeah.
When he was on the mound the last 2 years, they went 36-18.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I'm struggling with that today.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're struggling with it because your face has so much color that it literally looks like you just got back from a vacation.
No,
And
no vacation.
so I'm wondering if there's anything you'd like to give me, like an over the counter suggestion or something to look as tan as you do when it's dark outside at 5:30.
Well, I could do that off the air for
Okay,
sure. 'Cause I don't
thank
want to
you.
give any free endorsements.
Yeah, because I just,
67% of their games they won when this dude was on the mound.
yep.
Man, and of course, a lot of the show eventually will be what's next, but that's nothing to dismiss. And they got great value out of him for 2 years. Their whole marketing plan was basically around him. Further proof that this is a business after all. Although you mentioned that he could come back, there's a number of avenues. Just doesn't. I'm not too optimistic about that right now. Uh, Increased presence and reputation in Japan, both with the Japanese player and Japanese fan. But I think at the end of the day, Sam, he lost touch with some of his pitches, namely the splitter, fastball velo way down. Missing bats was rare for him towards the end, and even generating any type of soft contact. So I think the Cubs are ready to move on. I am interested in the qualifying offer, which is about $22 million.
I don't want to give him that. That's too much money.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's set at. So it's a static figure, but
Right. I'd rather renegotiate.
okay. So then you wouldn't offer him the qualifying offer then?
No, I would say, hey, we're really interested in having you back. We love you. You're a great asset. You're a good pitcher.
Do they? Because he wasn't even on the card in Game 5.
Well, he wasn't pitching well.
Right.
He wasn't pitching well at that time.
What does their Ivy projection system say? If it's bad news, they're not going to call him.
This is what I'd offer him: 2 for 33. Wow, 2 for 32, 2 for 33, something like that.
Right, that's a little more than the player option that he declined today.
Yeah, I'd offer him that. Say we'd love to have you back, and go from there.
There are no bad 1-year deals, or at least there aren't many of them. And what should be a win now year, that 22M shouldn't hamper anything.
I thought Hosmer was a bad 1-year deal.
I'd have to look at the finances, but
well, I don't care what they were.
He was really
if it was if it was a 1-year deal worth $5, he was taking places of other guys.
He was thinking about his media company at that point already. I think he seeks a 2 or 3 year deal with the Mariners, Dodgers, Giants, or Padres, Sam. I don't think he's coming back.
I thought Fulmer was a 1-year bad deal. Say those names again.
I don't think he's coming back. I think he gets 2 or 3 years from either the Mariners, Giants, Dodgers, or Padres.
You said the Dodgers.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to go to break.
Coming up next, what's the current opening day rotation for the Cubs? It's, without Shota, without Justin Steele, who will likely not be ready for opening day. It's looking pretty bare. We talk about the rotation, and we go over all the options again in the free agency and
Go Bears.
Trade markets coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day. But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season. Whether you're following the NFL, the NBA, or both, there's no better time to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it yet, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup. And you can play anywhere Prize Picks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. You have to try Prize Picks this Sunday. Bears-Giants, noon Central Time. Caleb Williams, over or under passing yards. Roma Dunze, over or under receiving yards. Kyle Monungai, over under rushing yards. It's all really a good picks to look at. And you can download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Shout out to the everydayers, and you can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. All right, the possibility of no Shota Imanaga continues to increase, and Justin Steele might be ready for opening day, but it's more likely he gets more time. Even his last appearance with you, Sam, reading a little bit between the lines. Maybe it's just a couple weeks more, maybe it's a few.
Right.
Who knows?
I got no gauge. I really didn't. It didn't. There was nothing that stood out to me of a specific time.
Well, let's say he's back by May 1st, because that's my guess.
Okay, I think that's fair.
So first time through the rotation, then to open the campaign on March 26th against the Nationals.
Nationals and Angels. If the Cubs don't start 4-2, you could find a new partner.
Well, that's very. I was thinking on my walk today, 5-1.
Yeah, no, I'm already there, but we should be there because the Bears are looking good.
Boyd, Horton, Tyone, Assad, and Wicks is the rotation right now.
Well, no, that's so they're going to add guys.
I understand. I'm just trying to put that in context. Ben Brown and Jackson Wiggins would be next.
Oy.
All right, Dylan Cease at the top of the market for free agent pitchers. I don't see them going after Framber, Valdez, or Ranger Suarez. We talked about that early last week. And then you have the next tier of free agents, which is Michael King, Zach Allen, Brandon Woodruff, although his health status is doubtful, or just there's some uncertainty around it. And then likely Shane Bieber, depending on his option situation in Toronto. Really, those names should be the targets, in my opinion, when you pair that with the 4+ guys in the trade market, which is Joe Ryan, Edward Cabrera, Mackenzie Gore, Sandy Alcantara. I guess where I'm at, Sam, is you need to find impact somewhere.
Yeah.
I get it. They might reunite with a Savali or someone for depth, but you need also impacts. And where do you stand on this?
So here's how I look at the rotation. When Steele's back and things are rolling, Horton, Steele, Boyd, Tyone, player X, player Y.
Really?
Yeah, and player Y could be a Jackson Wiggins. Player Y could be somebody internally. And I'm not saying a 6-man rotation. I'm just saying you don't just have 5. It's just lazy to say 5.
Yeah.
And player X is going to be a guy that they really like. Now, am I going to get all excited and say it's going to be Dylan Cease? Probably not. Is it going to be something more along the lines of a Matthew Boyd type where they find a guy, identify a guy they like, and go grab him? Yes. But if Steele comes back healthy and is pitching really well, the combination of him, Horton, Boyd, JMO, and this guy we're talking about, it's going to be a good rotation. Yeah. The question is can it be great? Can it be a rotation like Yamamoto and Ohtani and these guys where you could win World Series off of it? Yeah, that's the question. And by the way, you know what I think of Steele. You know what I think of Horton. If they go, you know what I think of Boyd. If they do go out and get some monster, like think about if they got a guy that produced like Boyd did last year,
right?
And my respect for Jamison Tyone is it's through the roof. Yeah. And I don't care if he gives up 7 home runs his first start. I don't care. What that man did in back-to-back starts with our season against the wall, I don't forget things like that.
No, and we shouldn't.
I think he could have went even deeper.
No, I like what you're dishing out. I just really want to commit to what the tiers are and the fact that the Cubs need to get from the so-called upper tier.
Yeah, but Matt, we keep saying this.
These two rotations look different. Like, where do you stand on Edward Cabrera? Like, look at this rotation. Steele, Cabrera, Boyd, Horton, Tyone. And then how about this one? Steele, Gallen, Boyd, Horton, Tyone. Major difference.
Yes. And that would obviously be a big trade, which is very possible. But when it comes to finances, I don't trust them to go hand out $200 million. So the Cabrera piece.
So you don't trust the Cubs to add an impact starter they could slot between Steele and Horton. Is that what you're saying?
It's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
Cabrera what would Cabrera be?
Please.
Would Cabrera be a trade?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is something that I expect them to do. I don't expect them to do it with $200, $150, $175 million in free agency. I just don't see this organization. And that doesn't mean that I'm accepting it. That doesn't mean I'm making it okay. I'm just saying it's just the reality of the situation. It's no different than when I go to the gym and I get ready to play pickup and I look around and I want to get the ball in the wing, take a couple jab steps, take 2 dribbles and dunk in traffic. I can't do that, right? And it frustrates me that I can't do that. But I've never been able to do that. The Cubs, it's different. They can do it, but they're not doing it, and I can't force it. I can't force myself to be a better athlete. And so I'm just like, yes, it stinks, but Tom Ricketts makes the decisions. And I'd be really surprised if you saw a 3-digit contract handed out this offseason before this collective bargaining deal.
Well, then if they're not going to go 9 figures on a pitcher, which is a lot, I'll admit.
They'll trade for one.
Right, then they're not going to get Cease. Maybe they could get Tyler Mahle. He had a nice year. Steele, Mahle, Boyd, Horton, Tyone. He had an ERA in the 2s.
Yeah, look, this is how they're operating.
Well, so if they're going to make that trade, that'll be really exciting, and that would be 2 off seasons in a row. They make a huge splash. By the way,
Ballesteros would be in that deal probably.
Yeah. Also, all 4 of those names, I believe,
except Schwarber, I think they could do that,
are under control past 26, or as Alcantara might be a free agent after 26. I'll have to check on that.
They listen. It's very clear they want to have clean financial books beyond 26. Yeah. They think they're getting ahead of these new rules.
Yeah, but Ryan, Cabrera, and Gore though would be around for at least a couple campaigns, which would be nice, and that's why they have a higher price, which makes sense. Michael King makes me nervous.
Yeah,
I think you could get him like 4 for $80. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that.
Well, 4 for $80, I do. 4 for 80, 4 for $80, absolutely. But
okay,
here's the thing. I hope the Cubs know what they're doing, because it would be really bad. It'd be great for baseball, but it'd be really bad if after the 26th season, they're just like, we're just going to run it back with everything as normal. And the Cubs have done all these things to open their books and get ahead of this situation. But we'll see. It's going to be a lot of financial talk. But they're going to add a pitcher that's going to be really good. The question is how.
Okay, and your instinct right now is via trade.
Yes, or they go out, maybe and/or they make a trade and they go get a Matthew Boyd type that they identify as a guy that they think could be really good. Well,
that would really be loading up, because then Tyone becomes like the 6th or 7th guy.
Well, no, Tyone's in this rotation.
So then maybe they do some optionality stuff with Horton, or
I don't know what I never assume all 5 guys are going to be healthy at the same time. It just
right. You shouldn't. That's true.
We got, in my opinion, our best guy is coming off elbow surgery. So you don't know. Right. I mean, Steele did say on the show he's going to be on a pitch count when he comes back.
Of course. Yeah.
So you might want to quarterback, piggyback him with one of these guys. So, Steele throws 60, 65 for a month, and then player X comes in after for the,
that'd be cool.
60, 65 pitches, you're throwing 4 innings.
Well, I've always advocated for that type of thing. No one's ever listened to that. But because of my lack of trust in the Cubs, that's why I'm rooting for the qualifying offer with Shota. because that guarantees they bring a pitcher who can't contribute in the fold right away.
I'm rooting for just
I don't trust them.
I don't want them to give him 22 because I know we're going to hear that excuse. I want
Yeah,
him
I just
back.
I don't mind for 1 year.
I want him back, but I think you can get him back for 2 for 30, 2 for 32, something like that.
All right, coming up next, the Cubs also have 3 other option decisions. One of those players was traded on Tuesday, Andrew Kittredge. Also, we'll talk about Colin Ray and Justin Turner coming up next.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get into the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Folks, I hope your team isn't the Brooklyn Nets. They went into the season with an over-under win total on FanDuel at 19.5, which seemed high. They're awful. They're winless this year. I took their under, so I've caught maybe a few halves of their games. If you want to have a laugh, you're hanging out with a spouse or whatever, you just want to say, this is one of the worst basketball teams maybe of the 2020s. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we've got for you, either on your preferred audio platform or YouTube, as we close in there to 17,000 subscribers. The Cubs traded Andrew Kitridge to the Orioles on Tuesday for cash, meaning that the Cubs decided Kitridge, at least to them, was not worth the $9 million club option for 26. The Orioles did, though, and will send $1 million to the Cubs to cover Kittredge's buyout after the club option is officially or unofficially, I'm not really sure, triggered by the Orioles. Kitridge was acquired by the Cubs from those at the trade deadline. He had a blow-up outing, his third appearance with the Cubs, and then after that, he allowed only 4 runs on 11 hits in 20 games. He also had 5 postseason innings, including the clinching game of the Wild Card series. This was a interesting note from that came across today.
Yeah, I didn't think it was surprising at all. I also think it might have been a part of the original deal.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I read that, and I think it was Andy Martinez said that. That would make a lot of sense. Like, hey,
I wonder if he has a house there and all that.
Yeah, just like, hey, we're gonna send him back, and then you decide what you want to do with him, and we just don't have to worry about the buyout. The Cubs were never going to give Kitridge the $9 million. It's just not how it works with the way they do business with relievers. You could make the argument that he actually is worth that in the reliever market with how good he was when he was a Cub. But we talked about this. They were never going to do that. They want to have flexibility. They'll figure it out. So they got not only did they not have to handle the $9 million, they got an extra $1 million out of it, because if they don't do that deal, they have to give them the $1 million buyout. So now the Orioles, it really is an interesting deal, because I'm actually not sure and I know they said it's for cash considerations. I don't actually think the Cubs get $1 million, right? They just avoid having to give Kittredge the $1 million. Isn't that how that would work?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but they still label it right. Cash considerations. It's fair. I don't want to.
Yeah, maybe they get a.
What does it matter? Why did I bring that up? Who cares? Well, what a waste of 30 seconds that was for this program. The point is Andrew Kittredge.
He pitched well.
He was better than well. He was excellent. I trusted him with our season on the line. Right. I give him tons of credit for the job that he did here. Great trade from Jed. All good, and I'm fine not giving him the $9 million. I don't think it's a big story.
Yeah, for a 6th or 7th inning guy, maybe even earlier in the playoffs, I didn't see them investing that, which is why before we get to Ray or Turner, it's hard to see them bringing back really anybody except maybe Pomerantz. or maybe outside chance Thielbar, but I think Keller's going to get paid after the year he had. So
Which eliminates him from the Cubs because
right.
they don't really
Well,
pay a
he
whole lot of
might get
people.
$10 million for 2 years.
So 20 total.
Yeah, I think a team could go 20 over 2.
Yeah, that's bonkers to me.
Right. So then there you go. But
And I'm not trying to be this. People are like, Sam, you're turning into Jed. Look,
well,
no.
you're counting the dollars and cents all of a sudden.
Yes, because I know they're going to. So that's I'm trying to give the listeners.
I hear you. Yeah, from that perspective, right.
But I will say, even in that case, and Keller was amazing. I can't go 2 for 20 for Brad Keller. Even
and
if
I get that.
That I can't do.
Well, in that department, I trust the Cubs to identify guys.
One for 11, fine.
Right.
But a 2-year relief deal at 10 a year, you got to be you have to have just more than one really good year on your plate there.
It's almost not even worth going over bullpen targets anymore because they're going to grab a bunch of guys.
Absolutely.
I'd be shocked if they got Robert Suarez or something like that.
But think about like the Cubs, how many like team friendly deals that they have. Like, I think Justin Steele is one of the 15 best arms in baseball. If he comes back healthy, he's going to get what, $7 million? PCA,
not even.
PCA is on arbitration.
He's going to make $850K next year.
Bush is on arbitration. Shaw is on arbitration. Kelly's on a good deal. Like, they don't have any bad contracts. They're in a very financially healthy place. You just wish they would just go spend it. Boyd's a great deal. Tyone at one point looked like he was overpaid. That's a fine deal.
Well, all the young guys are pre-arbitration. They just say, "Hey, here's your number."
Yeah, that's what I meant. Pre-arb. Horton's pre-arb. PCA's pre-arb.
Right.
You can make the case those are your 2 best players.
Yeah, right.
Suzuki's being very fairly compensated.
I'm waiting for the Ray and Turner news, but Sam, I think they're going to have
Hap's not overpaid.
I don't want to tweet this yet or break this news. I feel like I'll be first. And if you're this far deep into it, I really appreciate it. But I think they're going to have about $75 million to the first threshold.
Mancini was a bad deal.
That was a bad 1-year deal. You're right. Also, they could bring back Michael Soroka as a reliever.
So does that $75 million include your arbitration projections?
Yes, it does.
All right. Well, then they better go sign Schwarber or something like that.
75 mil, though.
No, well, let's just think about it. $75 million just for next year. So that means you could you'd probably allocate 20 to the bullpen, 15, 20 to the bullpen, 30 for an impact bat, and that still leaves you with 25 if you wanted another starter. So what I don't understand, but we're going to sit here and do this all off season.
The position, though, you have to go all in. This is it.
It's not. This is it. It's not like that movie with that movie. What was it? James Franco. This is the end where there's still going to be a season.
I know.
Yeah, I hear you. What do you think Castro's going to get? No, the joke's getting.
Well, I think he'll get actually probably more than you think.
What does that mean?
I think he'll get a 1-year, like $5-6 million deal.
No, that's about exactly what I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, what did some of the team with Sox getting him 3 for 30?
I hope the Cubs pick up Colin Ray's option this week. And
how much is that option?
Decline Justin Turner's mutual option.
Yeah, and just say again how much each of those were. I know you said it already.
Yeah, so Ray club option 6, Turner mutual 10.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer on both. You bring Ray back and Turner goes.
Qualifying that deadline is Thursday. So is the qualifying offer deadline for Imanaga and Tucker if they do those.
Well, they're going to do Tucker.
Yeah, then players have until the afternoon of November 18th. So still a couple weeks to either accept or decline that. Really, then the day after that, the 19th of November, that's when things will really start to begin.
If
and
Tucker
that'll be about a
accepts
4-week period.
If Tucker accepts the qualifying offer, I'll do every single show from here to opening day with some sort of Iowa gear on.
Wouldn't that be amazing if he
Yeah.
accepted that?
It would also be amazing if I woke up tomorrow
6'5",
225 pounds, and I could, maybe
and you could
enter
slam dunk. You
and I
already
could enter
mentioned
the
it.
draft.
Right. All right, that's the show. Man, really good shows this week.
So,
All right, anything else?
the Bulls host the Sixers tonight.
Wait, so is there really winless teams in basketball from earlier you mentioned?
Well, it's just the Nets. The Nets are.
Oh, wow.
No, you and Kira one night. I'll give you my league pass password. Just watch the Nets play.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, well, Bennett will be sleeping. He'll be sleeping midway through the first quarter.
I'd like to watch the Bulls, but I don't get the channels.
So. No, I don't have CHSN either. It's really challenging.
He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt.
I just want to watch TV.
Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast
YouTube
Network.
TV and ESPN now have a problem.
Your team every day. Yeah.